Life is hard for the people of Guatemala, especially hard for the children growing up in a land where the majority of the population live below the poverty line. 50% of all children are malnourished. 1/5 of the population lives on less than $1 a day. The average family earns $250 per month, with the cost of food and housing being similar to the cost in the United States. The average poor child will only complete the second grade. 60% of all children will not attend school past fifth grade. The numbers are dizzying. It would be easy to be overwhelmed by the extreme, widespread poverty in Guatemala and decide that the problem was just too big, just too hard. It would be understandable if even the most compassionate person decided to look the other way, allowing someone better equipped to handle it. But then you meet a kid like Melanie. You learn her story. You look into those deep brown eyes and into her soul where you see the glimmer of hope. And then you realize you are the one God has assigned to intervene. You are the person that God has called to fulfill His plan and purpose for Melanie's life. Melanie is a precious 11-year-old girl living in one of the poorest parts of Guatemala City with her mom, Elsa, and her 4 brothers and sisters. Like many families in Guatemala, there is no father in the home, so Elsa and her son Juan Carlos work at Melanie's school to provide the barest of essentials for this family of 5. Her home is primitive and crowded. Food is scarce, and the water she drinks at home is contaminated with parasites. Melanie regularly complains of stomach pain. "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future." Is this God's plan for Melanie? Truly, God has a glorious eternity planned for Melanie. But we also know from Scripture that God promises to provide for His children's earthly needs as well. His provision often comes through other believers acting as His hands and feet. God's people are at work in Melanie's life at the private school she attends. Thanks to the loving teachers and staff at Casita Adonai, Melanie has already beat the odds and completed the 5th grade. In addition to an education that will hopefully help her break the cycle of poverty in her family, Melanie also receives nutritious meals and snacks, health and dental care, and Bible teaching at Casita. Perhaps even more importantly, Melanie is given the time and opportunity to just be a kid when she's at school. Many other children her age in Guatemala have already dropped out of school to work full-time to support their families. Worse yet, others have become victims of child trafficking. Because Melanie is supported at school, her childhood is protected. There are over 125 children who attend school at Casita Adonai with stories just like Melanie's. Right now, Casita offers preschool through 5th grade, but they've completely run out of room. Classes are being taught in hallways and storage closets. There is simply no more space. When the current 5th grade class graduates, that's Melanie's class, there will be no place for them to go. We simply cannot allow this to happen. An addition to Casita Adonai has been designed. The new space will provide a safe learning environment for preschool through 6th grade, accommodating 150 children. It will also offer the option of using the same space in the afternoons to offer grades 7 through 9, keeping kids out of the dangerous and overcrowded public schools and off the streets a little longer. Please consider making a tax-deductible donation to Hope Grows, a Caroline's Promise capital campaign to build this addition, ensuring Melanie and her schoolmates will continue to have their needs met at Casita Adonai. The addition will cost $100,000. It sounds like a lot of money, but it's a small price to pay for hope. Time is of the essence. Construction must begin in November during Guatemala's dry season and while construction costs are at their lowest. It can be done, but only with your help. Learn how you can help grow hope today by visiting us online at carolinespromise.net.